Well, I've apparently been talking to myself for the last who knows how long because damn cat jumped on my keyboard and hit the stop streaming button. Talk about unlucky. I'm too lazy to go back to my stream history, and it's going to be at least an hour before YouTube processes it anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick recap. Got the drive formatted. Check the drive with the Mac. I'm currently transferring files off of my Windows 98 install CD onto said hard drive. And yes, it is a legit copy of Windows 98 with the original thingy, although it's not obviously not getting installed in a gateway. But I do have the gateway that this goes to, so for distribution with a new gateway. It doesn't say installed on a gateway, distribution with. So I think we're okay. Actually, I'm pretty sure that Microsoft doesn't give a flying F about Windows 98 at this point, so I don't think that they would care at all anyways. This damn mic picks up every little move I make, doesn't it? Both good and bad. Pretty close to being done on the primary transfer. Once the Windows 98 install files transfer over, the driver files should start transferring much faster. Basically, we're reading from two separate locations on a CD drive at the same time. That's never a good thing. Just muted my power button blink on the front of this thing just now. That was weird. I've never seen it do that. Oh no. Not the power button blinking. It's the exposure on this thing being so low that it doesn't see the light from the power button. That was funky. Sorry about the cable hanging in front there. That's what's plugged into the drive there. I have my drive plugged into my test plug up there on top of the TV. It's my what I think is a prototype, but it's probably not. Laptop. It's the version before the high res, but it's got the high res video card in it. Go figure. Nice little machine, although I would have rather had the high res, to be honest, because the higher resolution would be nice. But for what it is, it's a good little laptop. It's an excellent gaming system. I play a lot of retro games on it. It struggles sometimes with classic games, but I'm not too worried about that. If it doesn't run in OS X, then I don't bother with it too much. I have this for classic games. The screen is the right aspect ratio. The system is way over spec for most OS 9 games to begin with, at 866 megahertz G4. And if I really want to go crazy, this does have a OS 9 install on it. And it will boot into OS 9, and it will run OS 9. Although, obviously, it's kind of pointless running a dual 1 gigahertz Quicksilver, running OS 9 because it can only use one of the cores, but that's why I have this one here. That's why I have two Quicksilvers. Honestly, I'd kind of like to replace this with a mirror drive door someday, but this is about the highest end version of this system you could get. The only thing that wasn't maxed out on it was the video card. I do not have the GeForce 4600 Ti. Sadly. I mean, I have one over there. The bottom of that stack of components on top of the boxes there. There's the red box, the white box, and the kind of maroon box. It's in the maroon box. It's a Lead Tech Windfast A250. One of the better versions of the GeForce 4 Ti. Although it's got like 6 bad caps on it. You know, it came from the era of the capacitor plague, so what do you expect? Then you have the 8800. I've got one of those too. That came from the solder plague. Right after the transition from leaded solder to unleaded solder. Man, looks like the driver transfer is slow just because it's a bunch of small files. Oh, that's a cool effect. Look at that. Wow. The digitizer on this thing does not like this screen. Look at that shit. Ooh. Ooh, it's like it's causing this poor camera pain. Look at that. That is trippy. These really old, early LCDs are quite a bit different than our modern ones. I mean, look at those perfectly square pixels there. Of course, Steve Jobs was absolutely nuts about every pixel being absolutely frickin' square on all other systems. A lot of times the pixels aren't perfectly square. They're a little bit off one way or the other. Because they're made up of 3 subpixels. Those are very well-defined pixels. I can't get it to focus close enough to see if we can see the subpixels, but when I first got this thing, it was in really bad shape. Screen quality was much worse than it was. It had been sitting on top of a pile of cables, and the cables had all basically embedded their imprints on the screen. And gentle massaging, repeated treatments with a heat gun, and running it occasionally for long periods of time seemed to have cleaned up most of that. There's still a little line. You can see that almost looks like burn-in at the top there. But for the most part, this thing is really good. I got it for $5. 23-inch Apple Studio display for $5. And 24-inch Apple Cinema HD display for $5. This was also $5. That was $10. That one down there was free. That one was free off the side of the road, the monitor there. This was $20, the thing that I'm currently streaming on. Whoa, that's a bit trippy. That is pretty cool right there. Whoa. That is awesome. Well, that's not creepy. That is just cool. Really hard to keep this lined up just right. Look at that. That's crazy. There's just enough lag on the camera that it's almost like persistence of vision. Well, that's cool. Hey, look at that. It's done. I always find the best ways to keep people occupied, though. Okay. So, is this one of my driver discs? Let's find out. Oh, wait, no. This is my Proxmox install disc. That is a video for another day. Let's see. That was weird. I just had the light blink over there. Hope the power's not going out. What the heck? All my discs seem to be missing. It certainly looks like one of them. Yep, here we are. Got everything we need on here. Except for the Audigy drivers. This is just about everything I could need. Heck, even Voodoo drivers. Kernel EX, OpenOffice, IE6, Java, X7-zip, DirectX. Excellent. I'm trying really hard to knock this computer over, apparently. Excuse me, kitty. I need my chair. I need my chair. Come on. I need my chair. Out of the way. Thank you. There we go. A little closer. Sorry, I was getting tired standing this whole time. Whoops. That didn't work. Okay. $800 MB worth of stuff. All of it's relevant, but I'll go ahead and drop it all in drivers. "26 minutes. Oof. Oops. Dang it. Sorry, still working the kinks out here. The secret to my success. That was my keyboard. I had plugged it into the monitor for some reason. Hold on a moment. There we go. Problem solved. Getting that inserted was more difficult than it needed to be. Okay. Oh. Okay, never mind. This is just a bunch of disk images. There's no drivers on here. Oh well. I must have wiped that drive. Well, looks like Microsoft is being their typical dickish selves and forcing me to upgrade my frickin' Windows version again, right while I'm trying to do something. So I'm just going to pack it in for the night. I'm tired of this thing threatening to shut my computer down on me.